All right, you ready to go, Carla?
Yes.
Let's go. This is actually take two. Take two. We just tried this and utterly failed. Take two. All right, Carla, you ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another 5K tennis discussion. We are still very early, well, right in the dead middle of February at this point, so early into the ATP and WTA seasons, and here we are on show number 30. Let's go! Show el número 30.
30, yes.
Let's go! Love this. Pumping myself up for today. By the way, Carla today is a little bit under the weather. I think this week a couple of our children, of the 5 of them, I think
they're all sick.
I think pretty much is all sick.
Everyone's sick, yes.
So when mom gets it, man, it gets tough. I have to re-energize myself. All right. You ready?
I'm ready. Let's go. It doesn't matter.
Let's go. We all wish a speedy recovery to Carla.
I'm sure I will.
I know I do. When she's down, everybody's down. Let's go. All right, we will place a link above that can be clicked upon if you missed the last show. Carla and I did a show on equal prize money for women in tennis, and also why do coaches battle amongst one another. So click the link above if you missed that one. And the show we did before that was on sportsmanship on the tennis court,
right,
and in life. So if you go to our channel, you can see that as well. I thought the last 2 shows were great.
Yes.
All right. So hopefully everyone is having a good and positive week. And we are in the middle of the week, so hopefully this week has been going uphill for you. Right?
Right. Well, it definitely is. Tomorrow we got a match for the boys, and Alma Bryant's playing private school, and should be fun to watch. Yeah,
our two oldest boys, we have 3 boys, 2 girls. Our 2 oldest of those 3 boys have matches tomorrow for their high school tennis team, in which they play on respectively. One plays number 1, the other plays number 2, and we have a match tomorrow, so wish them luck for that.
Yes.
So big shout out to them. All right, so on today's show, we have the following lineup. We have special shout-outs and new member shout-outs, as Carla and I always like to do. We're going to touch on David Ferrer, wonderful Spanish tennis player, on his going-away tour and recent match, as well as a very nice celebration or court entrance that the tournament in Argentina, the Argentina Open, extended to him on his way out to play Malek Jaziri. Good match, and Ferrer won that. We're going to touch on Naomi Osaka and her recent departure from her coach, Serena's ex-hitting coach.
But Osaka's coach.
Osaka's coach, Sasha.
Sasha Beijing or Beijing.
And we'll get into that as well. We are also going to get into the greatest of all time, i.e. the GOAT debate. We've touched on this quite a bit over the past year, but Carla and I read an extremely well-written article over the past day from a really brilliant sports writer. I do not know, but after reading his writing, I was really energized by it. So we're going to touch back on greatest of all time and the implications of even saying that thereof.
Kind of made you think really deep, you know?
Made me think a lot. I think the gentleman's name was Bodo, last name Bodo, and I have that all written down when we get to it. We are going to talk about current match results from ongoing tournaments. I think there's 3 ATP and 1 WTA.
Yes, there is.
All right, so let's go, Carla. You ready to ride?
Let's go.
Let's go. Come on. Got to be deep right here. Huge deep. You're sick. It just makes everything...
Oh, don't worry about that. Let's go. Let's just go. Come on.
All right, so first big special shout out goes to the entire YTEX Strings team and Ivor Savage, CEO, owner of the company. He has a booth currently at the Professional Tennis Registry Symposium, and that is in Hilton Head, South Carolina. So a big shout out to him, simply because what he and his company do for tennis players and racket stringers is they make it personal. It's not really up to the student to kind of go pick up a phone. I want this string. Okay, we'll send it to you. From maybe a vendor or whatnot. But YTEX has changed the paradigm in which they want to get to know you with a phone call even, and maybe they can help you out and send you something that will work for you based upon what you want to buy.
Right, which is rare these days.
It's rare, and I think it's quite awesome to even think about. But the reason why this is a special shout out today is if you are in the Hilton Head, South Carolina area, you can go by the PTR or Professional Tennis Registry Symposium. If you go to their booth, mention 5K Tennis sent you, and they will give you a sample set of some of their product line in terms of strings. Right?
Very good.
All right, so great. Best of luck to Ivor and the YTEX team in Hilton Head, South Carolina. Second special shout out goes to Stephen Davidi. So Stephen Davidi actually has a company, and that company is called Hydro Athletics.
Yeah.
Carla and myself stumbled across Stephen Davidi as Carla and I do a lot of studying and research on good things for training or fitness for our children, for ourselves, and how they relate to tennis. Stephen Davidi reached out to us so we could look at what some of the athletes have said about himself and some of the implications of his program on their bodies. More like how friendly it is on their bodies, right?
He wants to promote longevity in the game of tennis. As you know, there's a lot of, if you're an athlete and been playing tennis for a long time, you're prone to injuries. So he's trying to get athletes to last longer on the tennis court, prevent these, sometimes ending career injuries, right?
Yeah, career-ending injuries. Yeah, that was kind of a tongue twister.
Sorry, I had to think about that.
His training regimen consists of more user-friendly in terms of using your own body to train in a situation of water or water-based resistance and straight training. And we will definitely get into a little bit more of this on our health tip of the day at the end of the show. So we don't burn too much time here. I'm going to incorporate Steve Davidi and his Hydro Athletics into a health tip of the day, and then a safety tip kind of combined into that as well. All right, so topic number one. Let's get into it. You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
David Ferrer's going away tour. Okay?
That was awesome to see.
Yeah,
I love that. I love what they did for him.
Yeah, in Argentina, he is playing now at the Argentina Open, and his entrance kind of gave me chill bumps in a way. Mm-hmm. He had the respective, or a lot of respective players and coaches, he
had directors, tennis players, players who organized the tournament. They all hugged him.
Yeah,
a farewell tour.
Yeah, he came on court to play Malek Jaziri, respected player as well, mm-hmm. And he kind of had the lineup of gentlemen in the entrance, and he walked through them, giving kind of respectful hugs and handshakes to all of them. They introduced him on court. For me, David Ferrer is I'm not going to say one of the best of all time, but one of the best all-time gentlemen and fighters in this sport.
Well, you got to remember, he's like 5'9", and he's had to compete with some beasts like Djokovic, Federer, Nadal, Murray, I mean, he's a small guy, and he's really had to work hard out there.
Let's look at some of the accomplishments, and this is just a very brief version that David Ferrer has attained, okay? He has 2 semifinals at the U.S. Open. One of them was in 2007, and I was very lucky to be there that year. Djokovic dismissed David Ferrer, and I think we have a member in this group that started watching tennis because of this match.
Yes.
But
from Cambodia, I think.
Djokovic,
yes.
If I remember correctly, Djokovic beat Ferrer quite decisively in the semifinals in 2007. Djokovic met Federer. I was there for that match in person. And Federer beat Djokovic in straight sets very closely, something like 7-6, 7-6, 7-5, or 7-7, something like that. But he's made 2 semifinals at the U.S. Open, 2007 and 2012. 1 French Open final, 2013, lost to Nadal. 2 Australian Open semifinals as well. 2 career titles, was number 3 in the world in 2013.
Yep.
He beat Jaziri last night after his ground welcoming in Argentina, 7-6, 6-3. And by the way, respectfully, Jaziri is from Tunisia.
Yeah. And he's also a veteran of the sport. He's 35 years old.
So mention his age, 35. I'm 41 and still feel like I play at a very high level.
Yeah, can you imagine at that age playing at that level?
I would still try.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, for those
I
guys,
might not be able to walk for a week after my first match.
Well,
but
you got to think about it. It's not only the age and the all the stuff their body goes through, but it's also the desire to keep playing. What makes you play at that age? What makes you hungry at that age? You know what I mean? Because most players that are in their late 30s, they probably started tennis at a very young age. So they've been doing this for a long time.
I'm writing in a poll question right here, right now. Okay? 10 minutes and 40 seconds in. Poll question. I'll put a link above. Is David Ferrer a Hall of Fame inductee? Yes or no?
Why wouldn't he be?
Does David Ferrer go as a shoo-in into the Tennis Hall of Fame?
I think he should. We've seen many other players that are in the Hall of Fame that personally I don't think they should be in there. I think we've talked about this before, but he definitely should be.
We've talked about it before, but this is his grand exit tour year. Mm-hmm. We're going to give him props because, yes, I think he should be. I think it's without equivocation. David Ferrer should be a shoo-in first ballot Hall of Famer in the Tennis Hall of Fame.
He's a gentleman on the court and off the court. So
2 career titles. Again, ranked number 3 in the world at one point. I can assure you, if it wasn't for the likes of a 17 major tournament winner Nadal, that Ferrer probably would have won that match.
Sure.
What if, shoulda, coulda, woulda, but nonetheless, he could have had a major under his belt. Do you think Ferrer was better than Gustavo Kuerten?
No. Gustavo Kuerten has slams. No.
Okay.
No.
Do you think that David Ferrer is better than Guido Coria?
Who?
What's his name? Coria.
Oh, Correia.
No, Coria. That went to the French Open final.
Of course. Coria didn't do anything after he
But he made a final though, right?
But he didn't do anything after that. His career went tumbling down.
Okay, now what about if you had...
That was like, okay, he made that final, but what about tournaments and,
but aren't they Hall of Famers?
He's not a Hall of Famer.
No. Well, okay. So it was Juan Carlos Ferrero that won.
Juan Carlos Ferrero
He won a couple French.
Yes.
I think Ferrero was a better player.
He was a better player, but
By leaps and bounds?
But I think that he had the 3 guys that came in. Well, I think Ferrer was still playing when Federer was, and Djokovic was young, and Nadal was very young. But he had a tougher, well, you can't say tougher era. He just had those 3 players that
So I guess I kind of got lost in that. Let me try to correct where I was going with that. We have Juan Carlos Ferrero.
Yes, and he's won the French Open.
And he's won a French Open. Is he a Hall of Fame tennis player?
He definitely should be as well.
I think he may already be. Well, let's comment on that. The only thing I'm getting to, here I want to get to where I was going, and sorry for the hiccup there. If you place David Ferrer, the best he was ever playing, put him up against Juan Carlos Ferrero, who would win? Pretty tough decision.
That was a pretty tough decision.
Tough decision, right?
Because I think Juan Carlos Ferrer was also able to play on hard courts pretty well.
Let's just talk.
And I think David Ferrer made 4 quarterfinals at Wimbledon.
Okay, how about if you took Coria, who we just mentioned, that played a French Open final, right?
No, you might as well put him in the Marcelo Rios category.
What if you put Coria and Ferrer on the same court? Who would you take?
Oh, Ferrer, hands down.
Okay, now let's get Gaston Gaudio.
No.
And you put Ferrer over here.
No, I think
Who would you take?
No, I'll take Ferrer. He had a better career.
Okay.
Way better career.
All I want to say is that...
How many of you even remember Gaston Gaudio? How many of you remember that? I don't think many of them do.
Hey, what about Nicolas Almagro?
Wow.
Nicolas Almagro...
Did he have a one-handed
back?
Yeah, he's playing challengers now, trying to get back in the tour. He's had some injuries, and he's dealt with some mental issues at the tennis court.
I don't know what went down with Nicolas Almagro.
No, he was pretty much up there with Verdasco.
Yeah,
about the same level.
I think Almagro made, if I remember correctly, a lot of ATP 1000s clay tournament finals.
Yeah, but he was around Verdasco. The same.
I think Almagro got to 5 in the world, didn't he? Maybe 4?
I don't remember.
Maybe even 3?
No, I don't think he got
3, 4, 5 in the world?
Maybe in the top 10.
I don't know. He got up there. Okay. That's a good fact to look up, though. All right. Does David Ferrer deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? I say absolutely, without equivocation. Don't worry about it. Keep moving on. Put him in, and don't even.
I'm sure he'll put his own academy or something in Spain. So.
Right. That's a good idea
Most
too.
of them do.
But here's the thing: I think Nadal has an academy there too
Well,
as well.
so
So
does-
it'd be kind of hard to compete
Well,
against
so
that.
does Emilio Sanchez and Sergey Bruguera. I mean, they all have their academies.
All right.
Alex Correia. I mean, they all Carlos Moya. They're all doing something in tennis.
What about
Tennis is huge in Spain.
What about Sabatini or Sanchez Vicario?
Well, Sabatini's from Argentina. We saw
Oh,
her
yes,
there at
that's
the
right.
Argentina Open.
Okay, that's deep right there.
They showed like a little glimpse of her, and she looks exactly the same.
Man, tell you what, she's still doing great in the game, and we're gonna move forward into our next topic.
Yes.
Naomi Osaka drops her current coach, which was Serena's previous hitting partner.
Sasha, yeah. I mean, but he's coached a few other people before that, so.
After winning 2 majors decisively, back to back, U.S. Open and the Australian, I think it's rather peculiar to drop your coach. And if I remember correctly, leading into the Australian Open, Osaka and Sasha, respectively, weren't even on the same practice court.
No, they were not. I mean, is it a shot? Yes, it's a big shot. Meaning that why would you drop him right after winning a second slam? But a lot of female tennis players do this on the tour.
I think Kerber has done this.
Kerber did this too.
Halep did it with Cahill with 1 major.
Kerber won 2 Grand Slams last year with Wim Fessette from Belgium, and she dropped him. And then Halep won the French Open last
with
year.
Cahill and separated there.
So it's a little odd, and this is why we talked about tennis coach contracts.
Contracts, yeah.
So important.
Yeah. I don't know all that there is to know about the subject with contracts and solidifying security payments to a coach in tennis. I know, let's speak for college football or pro football. We've talked about this before. A coach signs a contract with a school or a respective team for 10 years, $1 million a year, $10 million with $4 million guaranteed. And then after the guaranteed period, your incentives kick into play. You can be fired, and then if you do get fired, there's a buyout contract, and so the coaches can basically go retire and chill for 3 years and still get $1 million a year.
I don't think that tennis coaches are making millions of dollars. I really have a hard time believing they're making millions of dollars.
I agree. I'm not saying that they are. I'm trying to lay down the cornerstone, the paradigm, the context of where I'm going with this. Let's use a football coach. You heard the incentives. If I hire a tennis coach, is it or is it not the gist of the non-existent contract that we're gonna play? If I like you, I'd like you. If I don't like you, I don't like you. If I win, great. But even then, I might fire you. So therefore, when I want to fire you, you're just out in the dark no matter what. I don't know if that's the truth or not. So comment on that. Big Hit Sports International that communicates with us a lot.
Yeah, he would know.
Is a top-notch coach. Top-notch, if not one of the elite, right?
Yeah.
So
I think Yvonne Gallup would know about this.
Yvonne Gallup,
Moya would know about this.
Greg Moya.
Ivor would even know about this.
Ivor Savage is another one. So all these people we talk about every day are these absolutely lights-out, top-notch players, coaches, own tennis companies, and etc. How do coaches spare the embarrassment, number one? No one likes to be fired.
No.
It doesn't matter
Don't
if you're
tell
set
me
or
that
not.
on social media you can say, oh, I wish you luck, and I wish you luck, so happy for you. There's no way. Something happened there. Something always happens between a coach and a player.
Look, even if you are a coach in the NFL, let's look at who's the guy that just got fired in Green Bay. Mike, I don't even want to mention it because I didn't have this written down. But the Mike McCarthy. He was fired in Green Bay as the Green Bay coach. And yeah, he has severance and all this. But don't you think it hurts from a coach that's in the limelight to get fired? You can't tell me that right now the gentleman Sasha, no matter if he gets $10 million guaranteed or not, you can't tell me that at least it does hurt.
It has to hurt.
It has to hurt.
Not only that, like a regular job, if you get fired a lot of times, doesn't that look bad on your application?
Well,
I'm just saying, well, this coach got fired 6-7 times. What's wrong here?
Okay, but now let's flip this. Let's flip the subject onto the following. Here's a different context. All right, don't forget, there's always 2 sides to a story.
And I'm sure it's going to come out. I'm sure we'll find out.
And maybe it's positive, maybe it's negative, and maybe it's nothing. But let's look at a context like this. Carla, you're Mary Jane. I'm John Doe. I've never met you before. How are you, Miss Carla? I've heard you're a great coach. Let's go travel the world together, almost sleep next to each other every night, get in the same car every day, be near each other all the time. And then if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. and then if it doesn't, then just kind of get lost and you get nothing from it. Or if it doesn't, then is there anything behind the scenes that protects these coaches from being stuck in Zimbabwe with no way to get home? How does this, is there a protection for these coaches in tennis like there is in every other sport, including soccer or cricket?
I'm not sure, but a lot of these guys, I don't know if he's a family man. I don't think so because he's pretty young. But a lot of these guys, that shouldn't matter. But there are a lot of family guys that are coaches, females too. I mean, I'm sure it affects them. Can you imagine?
It has to affect them. But let's be real here. There's always two sides to every story.
There is two sides to every story, of course. But let me tell you something. It's kind of weird to me that she did this now. And to me, I know you're going to ask the question. I think it's going to affect her.
I'm fixing to do or I am about to. I said fixing. I am about to put a poll question up top on this entire subject, but real quickly, let's look at anything in life where we have a partner or a friendship or something that happens in our lives that happens so quickly, and we don't take a step back to think about what happens in the future. This is what contracts are all about. It's really hard for me to fathom if my assumption is correct. My assumption is that there are severance pays and packages for any type of position and anything that we do. It seems, because I don't want to be a credible fact on this, because I don't know all the I's dotted and the T's crossed. Mm-hmm. But my assumption is that it's a real tough go for the tennis coach. Now, granted, if there's two sides to every story and someone did something wrong or outside the boundaries of fair play, mm-hmm. Get lost.
Right. And we'll find out.
I agree.
Yeah, we'll find out.
If someone stepped outside the lines of play, and this is for anything in life, and you are attaining their services and paying them thereof, you have stepped outside those lines of professionalism, get lost, see you later. Not indicating that occurred, but just stating it. But if everything is in the best interest of both parties, is it that easy to kick your coach to the curb in professional tennis and just say, hey,
Well, we've seen Eugene Bouchard fire coach after coach after coach after coach.
Anyway, moving forward, end this topic. Comment below on it. Poll question up top. Does this coaching change affect Osaka in any way whatsoever moving forward? Yes or no? If you say yes, great. If you say no, again, we won't know who you are. It doesn't matter. But comment below on why. Right? If you say yes, comment below on why. If it helps her, great. Why? If it doesn't help her, when you click no, below. And if you wish to remain anonymous, that's fine too.
Okay.
Just click yes or no. But I would love to know why it would affect her or why it would not affect her. All right? So, moving forward, the greatest of all time debate. We have touched on the greatest of all time debate a lot. Carla and I read an article yesterday, and this article was from a gentleman by the name of Peter Bodo. Peterbodo, and he is an ESPN staff writer for ESPN.com, especially in tennis. So I haven't talked to Peter. I tried to reach out to him today, but I'm going to give Peter props right here, right now, because he deserves it on his piece that he wrote.
It was a good article.
Absolutely wonderful article, Peter Bodo, if you are out there. Carla and again myself have talked about the greatest tennis players of all time. We talk about it with our fathers, with our children's grandfather, right, and mine, and they go back into the 30s and 40s and 50s, and we look at now and they're like, we always thought that their articles or their thoughts might be too antiquated, right? So we kind of battle with them on it, right?
Yes, we do.
Peter Bodo, I thought, really laid this down really, really well. Okay, his article is titled "Roger Federer Isn't the GOAT, and Neither is Rafael Nadal or Novak Djokovic." All right. So we have spoken about this a lot. Number one, this article was nicely written by Peter Bodo. Look for it. That's the title. Look for it on ESPN.com and read it. It's statistically driven. It has no bias whatsoever. There is no favoritism to one or the other. It's simple facts. Number one of his facts, and we've talked about this before, that the rebirth of the importance of the Australian Open plays a big factor.
Right. Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, you had players like McEnroe, Borg, Connors, who only played 8 times. They played this Grand Slam 8 times, in their career. What does that tell you?
Yeah, in other words,
that it wasn't important back in the days. I've said this before, and people have argued with me about it.
Yeah, back in the days, basically there was 3 majors. Some people would play the Australian, but not very many. We have to look at the likes of Rod Laver and Peter,
which he also says gives 25% more chance to win another Grand Slam. So they were only really playing 3 Grand Slams a year.
Yeah, Peter wrote this very well too as well. Rod Laver had, I think, around 11 majors at one point in time in his early age, and he stayed off of the.
Well, he wasn't allowed to play for 6 years.
For 6 years, which is 24 major attempts. Wow. And then at the same time, he won 2 calendar year Grand Slams, which has not been done since him, and he did it twice.
And Djokovic is trying to do that now. Can you imagine how many slams he would have won? Because he came back after being absent for 6 years and won again all 4. That's tough.
Peter even likened it down to the way that players slide on current surfaces now and how it levels the playing field across all surfaces, where at this point in time a different surface was like the difference between day and night.
And we used to see, in our era, we used to see this. Like my dad used to say, grass is not what it used to be. Only the serving volleyers would win this tournament. And now it's changed. A baseliner can play.
So the playing,
grass.
In other words, his article is statistically based upon how can you cover generations of the game when the surfaces have changed to level the playing field, where the technology and what we used to play the game with is completely changed. The fact that someone won 2 calendar year Grand Slams that no one really talks about anymore, while at the same time have taken 6 years away from all of the majors, and one of them was rarely
played.
One of them was rarely played.
Exactly.
So let's comment on this. I'm going to end this segment, as I always say, though, in the history books, as time moves forward, the masses of people are always going to look at who has the most majors, and currently that is
Roger. And this just proved it.
And currently this is Roger Federer. The head-to-head stuff, again, over the eons of time, doesn't really matter. I think the masses will always look at championships.
Right.
All right. By the way, my greatest list of all time are these 5 players: Rod Laver, Jack Kramer, Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic, and Bill Tilden.
That's a good list.
What are your top 5? Okay, that's my top 5. She didn't know I was saying that. I won't put her on the block because the time's running out.
I agree with you, Roger Federer.
Rod Laver, Jack Kramer, Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic, Bill Tilden. What are your top 5?
I would have to take out one and add Pete Sampras there.
All right, here we go. Current match results and tournaments, so we don't run out of time. Let's go with 3 ATP, 1 WTA.
Well, we've got the Rotterdam going on right now. Here's an upset again. The number 2 seed, Karen Khachanov from Russia, was defeated by Taeyong Griekspoor from Netherlands. What is going on with Karen Khachanov?
Lost again.
Again. This match, Kei Nishikori from Japan defeated Pierre Hughes Herbert in 3 sets. So that's a good match.
That's a good match. Herbert's a good doubles player, too.
And Monfils is on a roll. He defeated David Goffin in Belgium. And then today he defeated Andreas Seppi from Italy. So he's on a roll.
2 tricky players.
Yeah. Stefanos Tsitsipas from Greece went down to Damir Sumur from Bosnia and Herzegovina. That's, again, he lost. He lost the last tournament he played in. Here's another tournament.
Growing pains.
Yep. Joe Wilfried Tsonga from France defeated Thomas Fabiano from Italy. So Tsonga just won a title and he's still winning. Good. Maybe he'll be ready for the French. So we'll see.
I mean, I think Tsonga's more of a threat at Wimbledon and the U.S. Open.
Daniil Medvedev from Russia defeated Jeremy Chardy from France.
Good job,
he just won a title as well.
Chardy's a tricky player. He's a veteran. Medvedev, I like a lot.
And then Stan Wawrinka won his last round against Benoit Paire, and I saw Paire slamming and throwing rackets with the collar up.
Who needs it?
But here's a match to watch, guys. It's a rematch. Milos Raonic from Canada goes against Stan Wawrinka from Switzerland. Great match.
2 out of 3 sets versus 3 out of 5. We had Raonic on this match at the Australian Open.
Yeah.
All right, what's going to happen here? Who wins?
And Thomas Berdych from the Czech Republic plays Denis Shapovalov from Canada. And here was a boring match that we were watching. It was the first round, Hyun Chung versus Nicholas Basilashvili.
Oh, yeah, that went bad.
My God, what happened to Chung? The lack of effort. He wasn't even trying. He wasn't moving. I felt like I was watching a junior tennis player.
Well, I know Basilashvili won this match.
But it was boring.
But yeah, it really was not that great of a match.
New York Open, great hard courts. No one was there in the crowd when Tennis Sangre was playing against Paolo Lorenzi won from Italy.
Playing over Tennis Sangren.
I mean, I think there were 2-3 people going like this, and I think they were employees.
Bad showing for that tournament.
And doubles, John Isner and Brendan Evans lost. And we were asking ourselves, why did he choose Brendan Evans to play when the guy hasn't even played a tournament since 2012 in Charlottesville? Challenger.
He had the stretchy leggings on and the stretchy armbands, but anyway.
A good match to watch. John Isner, number 2 seed, versus Bernard Tomic.
All right. So, look, we have about a minute left. We have, again, we talked about Ferrer that beat Jaziri and Argentina as well.
The Women's Qatar Open is going on right now. Check that out.
Yeah, Women's Qatar Open. I see she has Bertens.
Angelique Kerber's playing. Halep's playing. Slovenia just beat Jelena Ostapenko. Again, Ostapenko never lost.
So a lot of action going on, and we always try to keep it our goal to keep your day a little bit on the lesser time, and we end up rushing at 30 minutes in. That's it, everyone. Again, check out the results. Thank you, Peter Bodo, for your article. There's a health tip of the day, as we do every day, and our health tip of the day goes back to Stephen DeViti at Hydro Athletics. I think it's always important to find new avenues to exercise, to find new avenues to take less of a toll on our bodies. And from what I have seen from Stephen DeViti and his Hydro Athletics has been quite awesome. You can find him on YouTube at Stephen DeViti, D-A-V-I-D-E, S-T-E-P-H-E-N space D-A-V-I-D-E at Hydro Athletics on YouTube.
On YouTube, yes.
So you'll enjoy that, and he's in the Naples, Florida area. Any way that us human beings can find a way to exercise longer and reducing the amount of stress, therefore making our careers longer in terms of an athletic career, is a plus.
Definitely.
Always be safe near water. I have looked at a lot of his videos, and everything seems really on deck.
He's certified, so.
Certified, everything looks really safe, but make sure you talk to him before attempting to do anything in the water without his professional guidance. Best of luck today to Ivor and the YTEX team at the PTR Symposium in Hilton Head, South Carolina. Much love to all of you, and thank you for your support to us. Click like below, subscribe to our channel below, share our videos, and wish our 2 oldest boys luck tomorrow on their matches, and both of them will be playing with YTEX, 1 Quadro Twist and 1 Hexagon X. Yes. Let's go. As Carla always says,
Adios.